looking towards next season, it's definitely City's to lose.
I would say so. I would say so.
Has to win it.
Let's go ahead and look. Fuck it. Early season. Way too early Champions League predictions. Let's just go ahead and get a little round table going.
Okay.
Who you think will win, and then explain your prediction.
Well, let's say, who do you think is going to be in the final?
Yeah, final. Yeah, who do you think will be in the final, and then explain it, and then pick a winner. Okay. We'll start with Jonathan.
In the final, I would have to say City and Real Madrid.
Okay.
Because I see Real Madrid have already put pieces in place to go again. They have Camavinga. They have Modric on one more year with no signs of slowing down. I mean, he's great. He's one of the best players on that team. Everyone points to his age as a reason why he's not a good player. But if you just watch him play, he's just as good as anyone else on the field. Yeah. So if he can continue this form into next season, he will also be doing good. But one thing that we should consider is how these teams are doing after the World Cup. Because if you can anticipate a country struggling, that might affect the superstar's performance, like we saw with Salah.
That's a good point.
It could have that Salah effect where they just lose the form going into the new year and their team falls off and doesn't make the Champions League.
And another thing to consider is that given that the World Cup is in the middle of the season, it's gonna, you know what I mean? Like a player like Haaland is not at the World Cup, so he's gonna get a long rest. Yeah. You know, while players for pretty much every other big club that's gonna be playing in the Champions League is going to be, working at the World Cup. You know what I mean? So there's going to be, I don't know if that's going to be a disadvantage or an advantage, but I think it's something to consider.
But taking that out, so who do you have winning, Man City or Real Madrid?
I think it's too far out to know for sure, but if Man City
that's the whole point.
That's a point. You have to put your stamp on it right now, the early stamp.
If Man City don't win a Champions League final this season, they have failed. So I would expect them to win it. And if they don't, I think there's going to be talks about Guardiola.
Dude,
there will be talks about his job. He'll be on the hot seat.
He literally said that I'm not good enough to maybe I'm not good enough to win it. That's
scary.
See, but it's because
once a coach says that, do you think they're even capable of winning it?
It's because of that Yaya Toure curse.
You saw his brothers filming him.
That's hilarious, dude. No, but I mean, if Real Madrid make a final, they're winning it. It's just history. They've
especially against Man City.
41 years.
Man City would fold like a fucking cardboard box against Real Madrid in the final.
Dude, because it's just how it is. Real Madrid, every time they get to finals, they just win. They somehow find a way to win. And for 41 years, last time they lost a final was like, what, 19 fucking...
It was something crazy.
It was like 41 years ago. But they played Liverpool in Paris. And, maybe I thought, shit, they're going to jinx us. History's going to repeat itself. But then, obviously, that's just bullshit. So.
Yeah. I think something not to overlook would be like the experience that the young players of Real Madrid that they've just gained. Yeah, they're like Camavinga at his age. Yeah. Camavinga's already got that in his back pocket. You know what I mean? And think about his trajectory as a player.
Camavinga won more Champions League than Mbappe. I think he's better. I think Camavinga's better than Mbappe.
Okay. Anyway, G, let's go ahead and hear your way too early prediction.
Way too early. I'm gonna be non-biased. I don't think Madrid's gonna get to the final. Someone's gonna have to beat them. To go back to back.
Yeah, it'd be tough.
Happening. So someone's gonna get hurt. So, I'd go with. Shit. I'm gonna have to go City and PSG. It's got to be realistically these two teams. I think that wouldn't be a great final just because. If one of those teams has to win, because both of their views are like, oh shit, if we don't win the Champions League, it's a failure. I think both of them.
I think that would be one of the best finals because both teams would have none. So
one of them would be winning.
Somebody's curse has to be lifted.
Somebody's curse has to be lifted.
But, you think two oil money teams can be in the final though?
Dude, I'd like to see their owners fight. Like, just get all their money, just like a boxing match. Just start fighting each other because that's what they say. Who's richer than who? Yeah. And against that, I'd take Paris over City just because I personally dislike Chelsea. Not Chelsea.
Chelsea?
I dislike Chelsea too. Yeah, but I dislike City more than Paris Saint-Germain, even though they're both kind of scummy. It's like, we're just gonna put a $200 billion or something in our team. We'll eventually win. Financial fair play doesn't exist, so we're just gonna keep on trying to buy the Champions League, but. Having Messi, having Neymar, having Mbappe, that has to win you something. If you can't win with that, then any club watching like Arsenal, you might as well just disband the club. Yeah. Because if that team cannot win, then what's your chances, or what's any other team's chances? You know, is this?
I think it will be interesting to see. Like, obviously, this is before the transfer window, so it's hard to know what big money signing is going to happen. But I think as of right now, my personal prediction I'd have to agree with you for once. I don't see a way, given what we already know. Like, this Man City team surely has to make the final next year. I think a lot of teams are going to take a step back. I think, like we mentioned, Liverpool are going to take a step back. I think Real Madrid aren't going to be. Are they going to replicate the greatest Champions League run in history? There's no way. So I don't think that Real Madrid will make it back to the final. Although never say never. Chelsea, I don't see them making it to the final. So then when you start narrowing down teams, for me, it has to be City and PSG for me. Surely it has to be them two making the final this year.
Yeah.
Those are the clear favorites. But my logic going into it was I picked City because they are one of the favorites.
At least you're not like.
But the thing is that there's always going to be an episode somewhere.
Exactly, and that's why I didn't want to pick it.
The two favorites are not always going to make it. I know,
but it's hard. It's for me right now. It's hard for me. It's hard for me to predict who's gonna. Because I think Liverpool are going to take a step back.
I have to be safe when I'm picking that. Even though it's like...
And I just think City with Haaland is just going to be so good